everyone, welcome back to Beekeeping with Natalie, or welcome to if you're new. Today is March 28th and we are equalizing colonies today. So we actually got kind of lucky with the timing that we went to. I guess the video won't be posted until after this, but we were in Georgia last week with Bob Benny and his crew, and we were kind of able to get an idea of what we would be doing within the next couple of weeks while we were there. So kind of doing a little bit of the similar things that we did last week over there. Our seasons are a little different, like they're probably closer to almost a month ahead of us because they're already making splits and we won't make splits till a while. But we're going to equalize colonies today. This is something that you don't do technically throughout the whole year because you're not going to do it in the middle of winter, but we do this quite a bit, as much as we can. Whenever we find one strong colony and one weak one, we'll equalize it, and so we'll kind of go through how to do that today. But we're just going to get started here. I haven't gotten into these hives in a while. It's been a couple weeks now just because we've been out of town, and when we weren't out of town it was snowing, so we just haven't really been in them. Today was one of my last straws with this smoker. I'm about done with it. I know it's got all the memories and whatnot and the stickers, but it's just not worth it anymore. It's so hard to light, and I don't know if something's blocking this down here, but it doesn't even work that great. And then all of the smoke comes out from the bottom here because it's obviously bent, but I think it's time to probably upgrade. We were gonna take the bellow off of it and put it on like a big one and just do it that way. That way it still has like all the stickers and whatever, but we couldn't get it off. So I might just have to upgrade to a bigger one, and I'll just save this. So this is the Reflectix that we've had on for, it's also stupid windy today. So hopefully I got a dead cat on this. That sounds really weird, but it's the little fuzzy thing that goes on the mic. I have that on there, so it should help with the wind, but I hate the wind, so anyways. But we're gonna go ahead and take off these Reflectix for the season, and they will go back on. I think we're gonna do it again next year, or I guess it would be this year. They'll probably get put back on in, I don't know, like November, December. They absolutely love it. So do I. So we'll save these too. These are still good. There's no need to buy a whole new roll. But I'll make sure to pick that up. Wow, it's getting windier. That's just gonna fly away, I know it. Let's see. Here. You wanna hold it? Oh God, that crap is. Okay, so there's a couple different ways that flung syrup all over me. So what I'm gonna do is, this is kind of the time of year that we're actually doing pretty much full hive inspections. Now, you don't have to go through every single frame. Just get an idea of what's going on. So I'm gonna pull this outside frame first. So this is a good food frame. So that's solid. I'm gonna set this to the side, and then I'm gonna put this lid down. That way I'll most likely end up taking this top box off. So if I take it off, I'll set it down on that lid because a bunch of grass will get stuck to the bottom of it. And that can be annoying. So let's just see kind of what's going on. You can skip like the first couple of frames. Like that's just gonna be straight food, especially by the weight of it. This one looks like it's gonna be food too. So they still haven't drawn that completely out yet. So the red buds aren't quite blooming yet. So we are still feeding. We've got a crap ton of pollen in. I don't know if you can see that. That's just chucked full of pollen there. It's all pollen. So that's like a yellow. This girl's got pollen on her too. We're not like 100% sure what the yellow is. There's a lot of different things it could be. And I'm not an expert on all that stuff. I'm trying to learn more about it, but so the red will be, what's red?
Henbit or dead nettle.
Henbit or dead nettle. The gray is like maple. That orange will be dandelions, but we don't really have any of those yet, but they're out there somewhere. Usually our yard up here too is covered in it, but It really hasn't been this year. We're also getting around to the drones coming out. So we'll start to see those walking around here soon, which is just exciting because that means that grafting season is coming soon. Okay, so it looks kind of shotgunny, but it's all chucked full of eggs. So I'm gonna keep an eye on it though. I don't know, I was gonna say maybe they're all just merging brood, but I'm not seeing any. So I'm gonna go through this. So that's considered about 1 frame of brood. I'm gonna count. You don't have to count every single thing, but I'm gonna get an idea. Like once I get to 4 to 5 frames, then I'm gonna decide what I wanna do with the rest of it. So I'll explain that here in a minute. So that's about 1 frame of brood. Maybe you'd call it half, like compared to this one. This is just a solid, good frame of brood. Now, of course, it's not like chucked full from top to bottom here, but that is still a good, solid frame of brood, especially because the other side over here is also full of it. Now, it does look like it's a little shotgunny, her pattern, so that might just be something to consider for later on. This is the time of year we're also going to be checking to see those strong colonies, and if they have just sheets of brood, a lot of honey, and just good production, then we'll go ahead and write a star or something on the lid, just because grafting season will be here before we know it, and we want to find those good queens that we want to graft off of. I know we'll definitely graft off of Corey Stevens' breeder queen that we have. So that'll be a for sure grafting hive, but we'll keep an eye out on some of ours too because we want to keep these genetics going. So that's 3 frames of brood. Now I'm looking at these for a long time, but if you want to get it a little bit faster, you really don't have to inspect it too much. But I am kind of curious on finding the queen to see if she's marked. Okay, so then that's food. So then I'm going to assume these next 2 frames are also food. They definitely are. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pull off that top box and see what's going on in the bottom box. My smoker is starting to, might need some more fuel in it. Wow, that went quick. That's the other thing about this small one. It doesn't last as long. You have to keep putting stuff in it because it's a lot smaller. Now, I know a lot of commercial beekeepers actually that still have one of the little ones. So it's really not that big of a deal. I'm just sick of that one. They also have a new hive tool that I'm using. It's not new, it's very old, but I don't know why I didn't grab my normal one. So you can also, it's not really that time of year for tip tests, but here within the next couple of weeks it will be for sure. But you can also just kind of get a guess by lifting it up. So that's really light. And it looks to me like there's really nothing actually in this bottom box. So here's what I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna switch these boxes. So what you can do is if you've got some brood in the bottom, brood in the top, or maybe just a couple frames in the top, you can just switch it out and put all of your brood. This is what we're doing this time of the year. Put all the brood in the bottom box and then food up top. Now it looks like everything is mostly up top here. So instead of literally taking like all the frames out and switching them, I'm just gonna flip these boxes. Yeah, this is pretty light. So bees also tend to work their way up. So this will get them up in this box now, and hopefully she'll get up there and start laying in it. Now, I was kind of hoping to find the queen to see if she was marked and maybe mark her, but it's kind of one of those things that if I find her, I'll mark her. If I don't, then there's always next time. So I'm not too worried about it. Now, if I do find her and she is already marked, or I end up marking her, I'll put a dot of whatever color she is marked on top of the box, or like on top of the lid there. This is lined up kind of weird. That way I know that she is marked. What did I say? 3 frames of brood? Or 4? 3? So this isn't considered really a super strong colony. I mean, 3 frames of brood really isn't that great. So what I'm gonna do here is, let's just crack this open and see what it looks like. Maybe. Okay. I'm gonna check this one out now. And I will go ahead and just because I might be in there for a little while, and then if I don't end up finding anything, I don't want to leave this open for too long. And there is, I think, a little something out there, because we set a frame of honey out not that long ago and they weren't even really touching it, so there might not be really that much of a flow on, but I don't want to risk any kind of robbing anyways. And this box is pretty light, so I can pull it on and off if I need to. So I'm gonna keep a lookout now for some frames of brood to give this one, just because it's a double deep and it only has 3 frames of brood. So we're gonna try and give them at least, even just 1 frame of brood can really help them out. So I'm gonna check this one. If it's got 4 or 5 frames of brood, anything else that I find can go into another colony and give it to them to boost them up a little bit. I am seeing a good bit of beetles on this one. I'm wondering if, it seems like ever since we started these reflectics, the beetles have been bad. I don't know if that's another issue somebody's had or what, but these hives are kind of in full sun most of the time. I'm just gonna pull this off right now. Oh, those frames are stuck. So you can try to twist the box and it'll get those frames unstuck, but it can be kind of difficult too. So typically after I've gone through this one, I would go and mark how many frames of brood was on there or in that hive on the lid. Ooh, that's got some weight to it. But because I think I might add some. Okay, so this is all drone brood right here. So right when you crack that, so that wasn't actually frames that were stuck, it was just all this bird comb. Once you crack that and it breaks off, this is a good chance to check to see if you've got a crap ton of mites, because they'll typically be in that, they like the drones and it's already capped, so you can check to see if you have mites. Now they're really fast, those mites will hide pretty quick, so you have to be fast with it, but just something to check really fast if you ever break off all that bird comb. So I'm gonna check this and see how much brood we've got in here. Holy cow. She got me perfectly under the nail. Those are the worst. So I'm just gonna pull that out. And then one little tip you can do whenever you're getting stung, it probably would have been the day to wear a jacket, but I didn't want to because it's kind of hot. If they won't leave you alone after you got stung the first time, sometimes it's because of that pheromone. It smells like bananas, and you can just take wherever you got stung and smoke it. That way it kind of helps with the pheromone a little bit. I don't know if it really works a whole lot, but it doesn't work super great when your smoker doesn't work either. These girls seem a little feisty, so that'll be another thing to watch. It can just be the time of the year, but compared to this hive, they are a little hot. I don't know if you can see that, but my smoker is just, it doesn't work. I don't know. Okay, this is a long video. But this time of the year, like I said, it is kind of more of these full hive inspections, which do take longer, but there's little things you'll learn over time to make it go a little bit faster. Now, pretty much all of my videos, that's more, we kind of slow it down in the videos and we work a little bit faster off camera, but it's also not always about your speed. It is windy. Okay, so that is all food, and then this next frame looks like brood, but I'm still gonna pull it out. Okay, so that's about half a frame of brood there. It's chock full of eggs and larvae though. So there's a few drones that I can see walking around here too. There's just all these little things that I'm kind of paying attention to this time of the year. All right, so I can tell already it looks like there's probably about 6 frames of brood. So there's, yeah, I'm just gonna keep my eye out for her right now though, but I'm still gonna go through. If you're not worried about finding the queen, you really can just look down, and I can tell these next 2 frames are gonna be frames of brood. But just because I wanna maybe find that queen, I'm gonna go ahead and pull these out. Okay, so that's 2 solid frames of brood and a half. You could almost consider that first frame a frame of brood, but we'll just say 2.5, 3.5 with this one. They are really, yeah.
You smoke my direction too?
No, you're good. I think I need more. Might shove some leaves in my smoker or something. Just because once it gets to the end of that fuel, it'll start doing, it's like hot smoke. What did I say? 3 frames of brood, 3.5. That's about another half. So combining that together, that would be 4 frames. And then this next one, 5. So then I'll check that top box. If there's any in the top box, whatever is in that top box will definitely go to another hive. So this is a good solid frame of brood here too. So that's 5 frames of brood there. So once I find 4 to 5 frames of brood, anything else I'm gonna put into another colony to help give them a boost, which is gonna be this one here. So let's check to see. Now if I don't find any more brood up in this top box, I could take 1 frame of brood from it just because 4 is pretty solid, but let's just see what they have up top here. It kind of felt like when I pulled it off it was mostly food, but we'll just see. You gotta be careful with this when you have a veil on, because this is the perfect line of light for them to get into that veil. It's usually how that happens. Okay, this is just all food. There's a little bit of drone brood on that bottom there. Okay, so here's some brood. It's pretty wonky though. They haven't fully drawn it out, but I can take that if I need it. Okay, this is a little bit of brood with some eggs and larvae. So I'm gonna have to do some rearranging, but that's okay. If you want to carry around a nuke box also, I have one that I'll probably put these in. Yeah, I'll definitely be able to pull something. Because if you combine all these little patches of brood from these frames, it's going to make a solid frame of brood for sure. So it would have been great if I found the queen, because I would know where she's at, but haven't really been doing a very good job of that anyways. So, okay, now we have this big old mess, so let's put it all back together and fix that. So I have this nuke box over here. So if you don't have a weak colony that you know what to put that brood into immediately, you can just carry around one of these or a deep, whatever it is. I like these ones because the bottom of it is already sealed on there, so it's not gonna move. So you just have that lid that you can just pull on and off to put brood into. So let's rearrange here. And then whatever I find, I'm gonna take and put it into this hive over here. I'll be curious what that one looks like too. I could add another box to like singles right now, but I don't know, we might do that within the next couple of weeks, but we still have a chance of like snow. I don't know, we got snow on Easter, right? Like 3 or 4 years ago. So it just shows that we're not done with our winter yet. Okay, so this is a really good solid frame of brood. I'm gonna leave that. And then I'm just gonna take maybe 2 of these, whoa, 2 of these like smaller frames of brood and put it into this hive over here. If you have multiple people with you, you can just do a queen check. Look at it yourself.
We did that a lot at Bob's.
Yeah, we did a lot of that at Bob's. All of a sudden you'll be working a hive and then somebody will walk over and be like, check my frame. It's like, okay. So you look at it and make sure she's not on there. Or if you don't have anybody, or you're not certain if you found her or not, or whatever it is, you can shake the frames. I might end up doing that just because there's a lot of bees on this bottom bar. Just keep a really good eye on that. So that's why it can be nice whenever you find the queen, because then you can set her, you can clip her if you want, set her aside, you know where she's at, you know you're not going to pull her, but it's all right. Okay, and then I think I'm going to give this one, so that'll leave me with 1, 2, 3, 4 to 5 frames of brood, combining all of that. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know if it does, but it made sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of pollen. This frame has a G marked on it. I don't know, oh, that would be grafting, probably. A good graft frame. It's not anymore, but. Okay, well, let's put this together now. I'm gonna put all of this brood that I have in the bottom box, and then everything else goes up top. So if you have like 8 frames of brood, then you have a lot of colonies that you can help out then. It can be hard to find weak colonies this time of the year just because, I mean, we still have them, of course. So we had this one over here, but it can be a little bit harder this time of year just because they're all really growing right now. And we're feeding a good bit too. Look who it is. You want to give me that? Thanks. Did somebody text you? How do you know?
Any mites on that?
No, I already looked. He thinks I don't know. He's about to get stung. How did he know?
I texted.
You said something? Okay. Anyway, that was nice. Sometimes he's nice. Sometimes. He almost got lit up. I'm surprised he came over here. Well, anyways, that video is not going to get, like I said, the Georgia video is not going to get posted till after this one, but he is in it. I might cut it out, I don't know, but he is actually in it. So that'll be fun for people to actually figure out who my dad is, the guy that I always make fun of and blame stuff on. Okay, I still don't see her, so I'm gonna shake that, and then I'm gonna get all this crap off that's on this bottom bar because frame doesn't want to go in. One of the things Bob told me, because I would ask, you ask a lot of questions while you're there just because it's somebody else's bees and you don't want to screw it up. So I asked him about scraping this top part, and typically that's something I would do right after I pull the box off, and I would scrape it all. But he said he's noticed that it kind of gets them more riled up whenever you scrape it, so he waits till the very end to scrape all that stuff off the top. So that's what?
I missed that one.
You missed that? Well, now everybody knows. Okay, so now I'm gonna scrape this because I'm done. I've put everything back together here.
They're already riled up anyway.
Yeah, they are already riled up, but at least I'm closing it now. So there is just a small bit of drone brood kind of on that top part or the bottom of that box there, but it'll be fine. So I'm gonna give them some smoke and then scrape this. And then whatever you scrape, throw it to the side. That way, if there is any robbing that happens, you're not leaving it right in front of the hive or on top of it or whatever. I'm really bad about that. I'll take this and I'll just throw it onto the lid. But that can create robbing, and then they're right next to your entrance. So anyway, that was just another small thing. Yep. I'm gonna smoke these girls so I don't, oh, well that came out. Okay, and then gonna put this box on top. And then put it back together. So that took a while. How long is this video?
25 minutes.
25 minutes. Nobody's gonna watch this. Goodness. If you do, there's little tips in there that will help, hopefully, but. Okay, so just gonna put everything back. I didn't see a feeder in here. If there was a feeder, I would usually maybe fill it up, but, whoa. Okay. Now we're gonna go and put this back. Do we film it or do I call it good? Well, I'm just gonna, that's a 25-minute video and I try not to go any longer than like 30 minutes. So now what I'm gonna do is go through and take out probably empty frames. There were some empty frames up top here. Take those out and put it into the top box here. And then I'm gonna put these 2 brood frames, I'm gonna check them, make sure the queen's not on there, and then put the brood frames into this hive, and then that'll give them a really good boost. Even just 1 frame of brood really does help a hive out.
Where are you going to put the frames?
I'm gonna put these frames of brood in the bottom box. I'm just pulling frames out from the top because these were the ones that were pretty much empty, and I wanna give them some empty frames, especially if we're gonna continue to feed. I'm gonna put a bucket on them, and that is kind of setting you up a little bit for maybe a swarm, just because you're feeding them and getting them built up, but we are also pulling them back quite a bit whenever we pull frames of brood out like that. That's one of the reasons we're doing it, is to help out those other hives, but also so we can set these girls back a little bit till we can get to them for splitting. So anyways, I think that's it. So then I'll mark how many frames of brood I had in each on the top, and then I won't mark that I marked the queen in there because I didn't do that on either one. But so if I come back and there's 2 queens in one box, we'll know why. But anyways, I think that's it. Hopefully all that made sense. If it didn't, you can go watch Bob. But anyways, thanks for watching today's video. Follow along for more bee adventures and be here next time on Beekeeping with Natalie.